Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to the Netherlands once again, and this is a beer that I've wanted to try for a hell of a long time. So we're going to return to Bodegraven, which is home to Brouwerij de Molen, who are one of the better known Dutch breweries these days actually, and we're going to have a taste of the Rasputin. So this one is their Imperial Stout-ish, and it comes in at 10.4%, and as I say, this is a beer I've wanted to try for a hell of a long time, so I'm really glad that I'm finally getting to review this one here for you on the channel. So as always, I hope you guys enjoy my take on it. I don't get to review all that many Dutch beers because they are still kind of few and far between, but these guys are probably one of the more recognisable craft beer breweries from the country. So yeah, make sure you try some of the Dutch beers, by the way, because the standard craft beers that I've had from there have been really good, and it's somewhere that I do hope to visit again. I reviewed quite a few Dutch craft beers when I was over in Leiden a couple of years ago, so hopefully I can return there fairly soon. But anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, of course, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Brouwerij de Molen before. This must be review number 3 or 4 involving them. I do need to do more of them. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Dutch beers that I've reviewed for you, and I'm adding to that whenever I can. And please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. You guys are genuinely one of the best sources of information on craft beer that I'm going to have. You always get some really interesting facts out of the subscribers, so really do not hesitate to leave a comment or anything like that. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Brouwerij de Molen then. So as I've told you before, De Molen is a small craft brewery, distillery and restaurant located in Bodegraven in the Netherlands, and De Molen translates into English as the mill, hence why they have the old windmill on their symbol, if you like, on their brewery crest. But the brewery is located in a historic windmill which is called De Artwief, which was built back in the year 1867, and it's that particular windmill that they're using on their crest. So De Molen Brewery was actually founded in 2004 by Menno Olivier, who started out as a home brewer before turning professional and founding his own company. But the very small kind of experimental batches of beer are still brewed in the windmill as far as I can gather, but the main brewing operation is actually down the street in another building, and they've been growing the capacity of that particular brewery over the last couple of years. Apparently they export around 60% of their beers as well, so that's why some of the particular ones like this can be hard to get at different times, because they send them to different places across the world, and they are starting to establish themselves in different markets. These guys are probably one of the more recognisable Dutch craft beer breweries these days, but as I've said to you before, they do some really awesome stuff, and it's one of the ones that you definitely want to check out. There's some really good ones over there just now, like Brouwerij Kies, Emelisse, there's these guys, Brouwerij de Molen. I'm trying to think, Oedipus is another one that's starting to get out there a little bit more. But the Dutch craft beers are very, very good quality. It's almost a shame for them actually, because they're next to Belgium and Germany, which have, you know, such a rich brewing history. The Dutch beers maybe aren't quite as well known as that, but in terms of quality, they do really deserve to be, and they are actually starting to get the plaudits that they really deserve as far as I can see in recent times. So make sure you try some of the Dutch craft beers, and with Brouwerij de Molen you can't really go wrong. But that's all you need to know about the brewery just now. If you want to learn a little bit more, check out the brewery website in the description below, follow them on Facebook, and you can keep up to date with all the latest goings on over in the Netherlands. So yeah, let's get on to the actual tasting of this beer itself. So yeah, this is one of the things that these guys are very distinctive for their labels, because it's almost like a kind of brew sheet, like a kind of fact sheet thing that they have on them. So it says here the ingredients in this one, the malts that they've used in this beer are Pils, caramel and chocolate malt, and they use Premiant and Sats hops in this one, and they recommend that you drink at about 10 degrees, which is roughly what this beer will be at just now. There you can see the standard Brouwerij de Molen bottle cap on this, and that of course is on this little part on the bottom of the label there. And this is one of the things they always say, because their beers are quite experimental. As you can see, Imperial Stout-ish, and this one is best before. This was bottled in July 2017, and it's best before the 6th of July 2042, so you can age this beer for a hell of a long time. I'll maybe get another bottle of this and age it and just see how it goes, but as I say, this is a beer I've wanted to try for a hell of a long time, so let's get it out and into the glass. Yeah, nice smoky opening on this one, so let's get it out. So as you can see, and as you'd expect from an Imperial Stout, this guy's pouring a really nice kind of dark ebony rosewood colour. That looks really, really cool actually. So yeah, if I hold this beer up to the light, it does have a little bit of a kind of chestnutty edge to it, but overall it really is mainly dark and ebony. If I put my fingers behind it, there's no transparency to that at all, but to be honest, that's probably just down to the sheer kind of colour of the beer. There's a solid finger of head on this one. I would say a sort of light beigey tan kind of thing. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and quite a few little ones just heading up towards the bottom of that head there. But overall it looks really nice, and you get some nice brown sugars and high cocoa chocolate coming off this beer as you just get it up and out. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then and just see how we get on with this one. Yeah, it's almost got a little bit of a kind of bready base to it, this one, which is quite interesting. The aroma, it's not anywhere near as sweet as some of the Imperial Stout aromas that I've come across before, actually. But yeah, it's got this nice, almost kind of dark brown bready, sort of grainy base to it. Some sweet chocolate in there. There's a good bit of brown sugar to this one as well, kind of toasted caramelly note. There's a bit of high cocoa chocolate, but as I was saying, it really does lean towards this almost kind of brown rye breadish quality with the aroma. There's a wee bit of earthy hop in there. You can pick that up a little bit if you take it in a bit more deeply. And there's some kind of candied red fruits coming out of the beer as well. But overall, it does smell pretty nice actually. But it's, as I say, it's not the most kind of prominent or pungent aroma that, or I don't know if that's the right word to describe it. It's not an aroma that really kind of jumps out the glass and grabs you, if you like. But I think I said that about one of the Brouwerij de Molen beers before, the one that Davor sent me. That was a kind of a crazy sort of Scotch ale type one. But I think I said the same about that, but the beers always taste pretty good from these guys. So as I always say, just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck into it. But let's have a go at this one now. So this is the Rasputin, named of course after the Russian priest guy who was with the Tsar's family. The absolutely just crazy dude, because it's a Russian Imperial Stout obviously. But this one is from Brouwerij de Molen over in Bodegraven in the Netherlands. Let's get stuck in. Slanje, Skal, Proest, as they would say. Ooh. Yeah. That's a pretty good beer. In terms of an Imperial Stout, the thing I'm noticing about this one, the thing that really strikes me about this beer first off, is just how clean it is. It's such a clean feeling beer, this one. Which I can't really think of another word to describe it in that sense. It just comes across as being really quite clean and fresh, if that makes sense. But when you sugar it around your palate a little bit, you know, it just evolves. There's a lot going on in this one. It's really quite nice. This is definitely one of these stouts where it's all about how the flavours blend together. There's no one aspect to this beer that's really punching its way out. Like, you can get some of these Imperial Stouts that lean a little bit more towards the kind of roasty bitter side of things. You can get some of them that are a little bit sweet. This one goes right down the middle, and it's got a really good balance between everything. Yeah, that's a nice beer. If you get the chance to try this, have a go at it. This was probably one of the better, one of the more balanced Imperial Stouts that I've come across actually. I do like the roasty bitter ones and coffee stouts and things like that in their own regard, and I do like the really sweet Imperial Stouts in their own regard as well. This is one that kind of captures both sides and just does it very well. You wouldn't expect anything less from a De Molen beer, right enough. But it just really toes that line right down the middle of the two kind of extremes that you can have of this style, and it just balances it really well. Yeah. So with this one, as I was kind of picking up in the aroma, as the beer mellows out a little bit, you can really pick up a little bit of a kind of a sort of brown bready base to this one. It's not too kind of big and doughy, if you like, but that you can feel just a little bit of that bready character underpinning this beer. On top of that, and as the flavour mellows out a little bit, you do start to get some of these roasty black malt qualities just pushing their way out. There's some sweet chocolate above that. There is a kind of high cocoa chocolate aspect to this beer, and right in the middle of the palate you've got those nice kind of sweet toasty brown sugar notes to the beer as well, and it's that malt base is just really well balanced. I think as well, when you move further into the aftertaste, there's a little bit of a, it's slightly nutty, but I think it's more of a kind of woody flavour that's coming out of this one. Yeah, I think it's more of a kind of woody flavour that's coming out of this beer, which is really, really nice. You can just feel that as the beer sort of progresses further and further into the aftertaste, you get a little bit of that kind of woody note to it, and the nutty flavours. There is a little bit of a nutty flavour just towards the front of the tongue, but the woody flavours do start to push their way out a little bit more. And they kind of sit there along with that roasted black malt quality that I was talking about as well, that pushes its way out of the beer as well. I mean, the malt base in this one is just really well balanced. That's a good way to kind of sum it up. It's not the most complex Imperial Stout, I think, that you're going to come across, but in terms of what it's going for, it's really well done, and it feels very, very clean. And for 10.4%, is it 10.4 or 10.7? 10.4%, you know, for a 10.4% Imperial Stout, it is, you know, it's just really nicely done. It's easy drink. It's easy enough to drink. It's not overbearing with the alcohol. You can feel a little bit of boozy warmth down here, but not too much. It's just really straight down the middle, as I said, in terms of its bitterness and its sweetness, and it just finds that kind of perfect spot in the middle. So a big thumbs up to Brouwerij de Molen for this one. For me, it's really nice. Yeah, don't know if there's not a bit of there's a little tiny bit of a vanilla quality in there, but the woody and nutty aspects that you get with this beer, and the sort of brown rye breadish quality as well, is pretty good too. So yeah, just pay attention to the malt base on this one. This is where the whole complexity of this beer comes out. But like I said, it's not the most complex Imperial Stout that you're going to come across. It's just one that's really quite well done, and it's all about how the flavours balance out together. In the back corners of the palate, you can feel there's a good little bit of a kind of earthy bitterness there. As you come further forward, it kind of just smooths out a little bit, and you can feel that there's a little bit of earthy bitterness still on the front corners of the palate, but between the back and the front corners, it's a little bit smoother. Then maybe round the very front curve of the palate, it's just got a little touch of grassy quality. Behind that front curve of the tongue, though, there's a little bit of a juicy fruity note. It's a very light red kind of candied fruit ester. That doesn't take too much prominence in the flavour, but I think as I always say, it reminds me of these little heart-shaped sweets that you get in Haribo Starmix. It's just got a very, very slight kind of candied red fruity ester, maybe even pushing fig slightly, but the red fruit in this beer is not really all that prominent at all. But everything just goes together in this one really well, and I'd recommend that you get to try this one. This is if you think that this brewery started back in 2004, and if I think back to 2008, 2009 probably, when I really started getting into craft beer, I would have tried this beer and been like, damn, that's really good. It's definitely one of those beers that you can see how it was really, really good back in the day. It's still really good, and it's just one of these ones that finds that kind of perfect balance when it comes to this style. So have a go at it and see what you think about it yourself. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one then, yeah, it's on the lighter side of full-bodied. Carbonation's very smooth. It has a good bit of oily quality to it, but it feels a little bit wetter than you might normally expect from this style. As I was saying, there's a good balance between the sweet side of the malt base in this one and the roasty kind of bitter side of it as well. It starts off a little bit sweeter, then the bitter malts just kind of push their way out a little bit later. There's a smoothness to the hop quality and a little bit of a kind of red, juicy fruit in there as well. But overall, it's a really nicely balanced Imperial Stout, this one. This is one of the best, the most well-balanced Imperial Stouts, I think, that you're going to come across in the craft beer world. I think it's just really, really nice. As I always say, or as I was saying earlier, some of these ones, they really push the roasty, toasty side of things, or the coffee side of things, and then some of them push the kind of sweeter aspect of it. This one is one that just finds its kind of niche, if you like, right in the middle, and it's just a very, very well done beer. If you tried this beer back in sort of 2009, 2010, 2008, something like that, this would be one of the beers that you're like, damn, that is really good, but it still holds its own, when we're another 7 or 8 years kind of down the line with craft beer. But it's really well done, and I'm glad that I finally got to try this one for you. So yeah, I need to see if I can get some of the barrel-aged versions and stuff and just see how it turns out there, but it's a bloody good Imperial Stout, and I'm glad that I finally got to have a look at Rasputin for you. So yeah, I think that's a good way to kind of sign off on this beer review, a really well balanced and well done Imperial Stout. So once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite De Molen beers are as well. And as always, thank you for watching. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Check out my social media. make sure you try some of these beers from Brouwerij de Molen, and make sure you have a go at some of the Dutch craft beers as well, because they're producing some really, really good stuff over there. And Brouwerij de Molen are probably one of the better known ones. But this was the Rasputin, a 10.4% Imperial Stout from Brouwerij de Molen over in Bodegraven in the Netherlands. Proust.